afternoon to all of you. We'll be starting from French Revolution. Yesterday we had started our discussion on world history, and initially we discussed about few topics which are important so that the basics of the world history can become very easy for you. So we discussed about Renaissance, we discussed about Reformation, we also had a little bit of discussion about the initial imperialism. Then we discussed few topics which are directly in our syllabus like Enlightenment. Then we also took one topic, that is American War of Independence. UPSC में जैसे क्वेश्चन जब आते हैं, every year they ask one question from Enlightenment, every year they ask one question from American topics. American topics include not just War of Independence, Civil War as well as their Constitution. काफी सारे topics हैं, वो बाद में करेंगे कुछ कुछ करके. Let us start from French Revolution. Now, when we were discussing yesterday about 18th century, 18th century Europe was affected by lots of problems. In the political field, the problems included despotism, no separation of power. In the economic field, the taxation system, it was unjust. Okay, normally अगर आज हम taxation system देखते हैं, it is very progressive in nature. जैसे जैसे income increase होती है, आपका income tax increase होता चला जाता है, rates increase होती हैं. But in those times, the most weakest people, like yesterday we were discussing about peasants or farmer, the peasants, they were paying 80% of the income as taxes. It was very difficult to change your profession. Guilds were trying to control each and every profession. If you see, society was, the biggest problem in society was built upon privileges. Okay, it was built upon privileges. The nobility was having maximum number of privileges, and these privileges were supported by both church as well as the king or the monarchy. Both of them, they were ensuring privileges for certain section of the society. Privilege का मतलब क्या होता है? Privilege means आपको टैक्स नहीं देना है. Privilege means you can have unaccessible hunting rights वगैरह आपको मिल गए बहुत ज़्यादा, किसी भी एरिया में आप जा सकते हो, ठीक है. Privileges means you have serfs, you are feudal lords. So those privileges were affecting each and every person. In fact, if we see the case of France, France was divided into 3 estates. Estates means 3 sections. Okay, the first estate, it was about church. Okay, and within church we used to have priests who were also known as clergy. The second estate, it belonged to nobility, those people who were in higher government functionaries. And finally we had the third estate. If you see combined population of the first 2 estates, it was hardly 2%. Get that? 2%. But these people were having or enjoying around 35% of the wealth. While this third estate, it was composed of 98% of the population. It was getting affected by the order of 18th century. So as a result of this, French society, it was not happy with the state of things, and things were bound to change, but it required a catalyst. कोई एक specific event होना चाहिए जिसमें कुछ ऐसा हो पाए. And in France, those events came in 18th century. French Revolution, it happened in 1789. The kind of regime that I've been talking about, such regime is known as ancient regime. Ancient regime means a regime which is bounded by privileges, which is bounded by despotism, which is bounded by the privileges enjoyed by church, nobility, plus pre-revolution France. Okay, so pre-revolution France, it is known as ancient regime, and it was under the control of absolute monarchy. The ruling dynasty, yesterday we had discussed the Louis, okay, starting from Louis XI, the dynasty which came into control, it was Bourbon dynasty, and the ruler at this point of time was King Louis XVI. Society was divided into three estates, which we have discussed: clergy, nobility, and third estate. And these people, they were taxed heavily, they bore the burden of supporting the other estate. So देखो इतनी इनइक्वल सोसाइटी में बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स आनी ही आनी है, आज नहीं तो कल. When it's going to happen, and there's a very famous quote that poverty is the parent of all revolutions, and the same thing could be witnessed even in the French Revolution. If you see King Louis XVI, he ruled with absolute power. Okay, the biggest problem with this, he was having a very lavish lifestyle. In fact, there was a palace in Versailles. This Versailles palace was very famous, and it belonged to this dynasty. Heavy taxes, they burdened the common people who lacked the basic necessities like food. In fact, he was married to one of the queen. Her name is Queen Marie Antoinette. So Marie Antoinette, she was completely unaware दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है. Okay, so at one point of time, people came that we want bread. We do not have nothing to survive. So if people do not having bread, they should eat cake. So this is the level of her oblivious, that कुछ पता ही नहीं दुनियादारी में चल क्या रहा है. So that's why the kind of society, the kind of economy, and the kind of polity which was existing in France, a revolution was going to happen one day, today or tomorrow. होना ही होना है. But the biggest issue was that what specific events are going to drive it. Okay, this is one of the most famous scene, that is the storming of Bastille. इसके बारे में बाद में बात करेंगे. But first let us understand the causes of revolution. One of the major section of the third estate, it was peasantry. In fact, out of 98%, 80% were peasants, right? Industrial revolution had not started in France. It only starts in the England in the 18th century. 19th century के आसपास वो France में आएगा. So the peasantry made up the bulk of the French society. As I've told you, that they were around 80% of the population. Second, they had to work certain days for their lords without any kind of remuneration. It means serfdom. Okay, serfdom was there. Number 3, they could not marry or dispose of their land without the lord's permission, and it has been estimated that they paid 80% of their earning to various form of taxes. अब किसी की इनकम ले लोगे 80%, will they be left with anything surplus? No, no surplus was left. And that's why there's a historian, Carlyle, wrote that 1/3 of them had nothing but third-rate potatoes to eat for 1/3 of the year. है ना, जिंदगी में लगभग 4 से 5 महीने ये लोग सिर्फ पोटैटोज खा रहे थे, and that too of third rate. They were not that much of good quality. And as I was discussing yesterday, 4/5 of the people, they were dying of starvation, and 1/5 of the people, 20% of the people, they were dying because of indigestion. This was the state of France. And in such a state, okay, in such a state, everybody wanted their own share in the pie. Okay, हर किसी को चाहिए कि भाई हमें भी resources में कुछ मिलना चाहिए. The first estate or the clergy, they were the most people linked to religion. They had very high social status and significant land ownership. In fact, 10% of the complete land of France, it was under the control of clergy. Church के अंडर ही था वो, ठीक है? And they used to levy taxes on that. And they were exempted from taxes and tithe. Tithe was a kind of tax which was collected from the people. Just जो भी land used to be under the control of the church. Aristocracy, it was having privileges. They were exempted from all the taxes, and at the same time all the government offices. जैसे आज की डेट में हम privileged jobs किनको बोलते हैं? IAS, IPS, IRS, all these are privileged jobs. This is the aristocracy that we have modern, even though civil services is the most apt word used for it, but in general, when we say from bureaucracy point of view, this is the aristocracy of today. So aristocracy of those times of France could only come from one estate, and that was that of nobles. Normal people, they were not allowed to enter the high offices under the government. And finally, the third estate, everybody remaining person. Third estate was also having rich people. Don't understand that उनके में कोई था ही नहीं. They also had this middle class which was having resources, but majority of them, they were peasant or urban workers. Okay, and the problem was they were having the maximum taxation burden known by various taxes, were the tail, gabelle was a salt tax, tobacco tax, to support the monarchy and other estate, and they lacked political power and social mobility. In France, there was a parliament. This parliament was known by the name Estates General. यहाँ थोड़ा सा आप ध्यान रखना. Okay, there are going to be few terms which you need to remember. Estate General was the Parliament. But this Estate General met for the last time in 1614, and from 1614 till 1789 there was no sitting of Parliament. So no popular representative body was functionable. जैसे हमारा देखा लोकसभा में मैक्सिमम कितना लोकसभा का वेटिंग पीरियड हो सकता है बिटवीन टू सेशंस? मैक्सिमम हो सकता है 6 months 6 weeks. दैट्स द मैक्सिमम. अब इनका क्या हुआ, 175 years हो गए. कितना? 175 years. It means the democratically elected body was not functionable in France. And why it was not functionable? Because the king was having the maximum power. The king did not require their support. However, this estate general was also divided just like the society. And all the three estates, estate number 1, second estate, estate 3, all of them, they used to vote as a house. जैसे आज की डेट में कभी भी कोई भी बिल पास करना होता है तो there is a voting within the house itself कि भाई हाँ कितने लोगों ने उसको पास कर दिया. But here it's not going to be on the basis of number. It's only on the basis of the number of the house. So one house, one vote. And you tell me which two are always going to be on the same side, the first and the second. वो क्यों यार दूर जाएंगे? अच्छी लाइफ चल रही है उनकी. In fact, those people who were clergy, they were not allowed to marry. So naturally clergy भी फिर कौन से वाले से एंटर करते थे बाद में? From the nobility. वही उससे धीरे धीरे करके उसमें एंटर करते रहते थे इवन इन द फर्स्ट एस्टेट. दैट्स व्हाई सब अच्छा चल रहा था. एवरीथिंग वाज गोइंग स्वेल. बट द प्रॉब्लम अराइजेस बिकॉज द होल फ्रांस वाज गोइंग थ्रू अ फेज ऑफ इकोनॉमिक crisis. And when economic crisis started, it required certain kind of measures to be taken, which eventually led us towards a revolution. So let us try to understand what were the discontent and the seeds of the revolution. Revolution start क्यों हुआ? We have seen, yes, lots of problems were there in their polity, economy, society, religion. Everywhere there were one or the other problem. But revolution does not start just because there are factors. Okay, they start because they eventually required reforms. They start because there was somebody to lead it. It required a major spark. So the heavy taxation burden on the third estate, inequality and lack of political voice, etc. They were there in each and every country. It was not just France. Same thing was happening in Austria. Same thing was there in England. In many of the countries of the world, same kind of issues were there. But why France became the center spot for the revolution? That is the one thing which we need to understand. And that happened because of one major factor. And that one major factor, it is financial bankruptcy. Please remember this. France had a revolution because they were having financial bankruptcy. This financial bankruptcy happened, one, because of luxurious lifestyle of the king, and second, because of the wars which were fought by them. Yesterday we had discussed 7-year war. We have also discussed about the American War of Independence. In both these wars, who participated? France participated. Okay, France ने participate किया, and as a result of this, it has spent enormous sum of money on the 7-year war, and later on they also supported the American colonies. This eventually led the France to bankruptcy. By 1787, American War of Independence ended in 1783. By 1787, जैसे हमारा ना Consolidated Fund of India, the French coffers or French treasury, it was empty. पैसा ही नहीं है लोगों के पास. अब क्या करें? The government always borrows. जैसे अभी अपनी गवर्नमेंट भी बोरो करती है money every year, but it is not for their revenue expenditure. It is for the capital expenditure. कि हम asset create कर रहे हैं. We're not going to consume it. But what was happening in France? They were just consuming whatever they were taking on loan, and it is a big problem for them. And as a result of this, they had to summon a state general. Okay, that's why they had to summon a state general. The parliament was not summoned since 1614, and it was summoned in 1789. Why? Because they wanted the support of a state general. Let me tell you the story briefly. What exactly happened? By 1787, the king realized that we are going to fail as a country if some economic reforms are not done. But what kind of economic reforms can you do? What was the possibility with them? Yes, the only thing that they could do, that they could levy taxes, and these taxes could only be levied on which estate? The first and the second estate because they were having the privileges. Third estate was already paying 70-80% of its income as taxes. तो कहाँ पे लेवी कर सकते हैं? First and second estate. However, these people were very resistant in nature. They said, no, you cannot put any kind of tax on us. The king was weak. Their king, King Louis XVI, he was a weak person. And what is the problem with weak person? They are not able to take decisions very decisively. नहीं ले पाते, आज कुछ बात करें, कल कुछ और, परसों कुछ और, है ना? That's why मोदी जी चाहिए हमें, है ना? We don't need weak people because when weak people come into the governance, decision making suffers a lot. So what happened as a result? He was not able to take any conclusive decision. Then he passed a resolution that there should be taxation on the first and second estate. Okay, he passed a resolution. However, there was a specific law-making process in France that whatever is passed by the king, it should be registered by a body which is known as parliament. देखो यही confusion होता है इसमें कई बार. A state general is parliament, but parliament is a law registering body. It's a law registering body. Whatever is the command of the king will not become a law unless it is eventually passed by the or registered by parliament. This parliament itself used to have member from nobility. तो आपको लगता है कि nobility के जो लोग हैं जिनके ऊपर taxation लगने वाला है ये इसको पास करने वाले हैं? No. This parliament came out in revolt. They said king does not have the authority to levy any kind of taxes. अगर आज अपना constitution देखोगे, does prime minister or president have the any kind of authority to levy taxes? No. हर tax कौन लगाता है? Parliament. Okay? Parliament लगाता है हर. Same kind of argument was put forward by this parliament. They said any kind of tax could only be put by one body and that is a States General, which was not summoned in 1614. 175 साल हो चुके थे उसको. What these people were trying to do, they were trying to just play with the king. They were just trying to make sure कि 2-4 दिन में मामला ठंडा पड़ जाएगा, हम इसको परेशान कर लेते हैं. King thought, okay, let us summon a state general. A weak person will, what will this do? They will eventually say, चलो ठीक है, ये भी करके देख लेते हैं. So as a result of this, when king summoned the States General, this State General started asking for same kind of rights like that of first and second estate. They said we want similar kind of treatment. Why are we getting that kind of treatment where we are paying all the taxes and we are not having any kind of access to the king? We are not having any access to the important institutions of France. So how can we survive in such a country? So that's why we see the beginning of the revolution starts with the enforcement of the king's order and the summoning of a state general. The moment a state general is summoned, eventually what do we see? We see a complete change of the reality in France. अभी उसको discuss करेंगे. But before that, let us just briefly talk about that who were the people who were responsible for creating such a situation in France. There were some people who were known as intellectuals. Okay, these intellectuals, most famous personality, first one was Montesquieu, second was Voltaire, and third was Rousseau. These people were criticizing the various institutions of France. Like Montesquieu, when you read polity, he is the person responsible for the separation of power. He came out with this concept that legislative, executive and judiciary, these three powers should not be exercised by one person. They should be separated. This is what is the meaning of separation of power. Similarly, we had Voltaire. Voltaire said that the church has become a kind of den for superstitions. It is not taking care of the spiritual urges of the people. What is it doing? It is eventually creating a kind of problem for them. It is becoming a very corrupt body. Similarly, Rousseau also said that if a government is not taking care of its people, if it is not following the social contract, eventually such a government can be overthrown. So such kind of resistant attitude among the people against the institution was inculcated by a brand of intellectual. That's why we always say that French Revolution was not possible without the role of these intellectuals. ठीक है, तो हमेशा ध्यान रखना that these people, they had championed the ideas of enlightenment. They told people that you should think for yourself, reason out. Can you see any kind of positive in these kind of political, social, economic and cultural institutions? We should change them. And that kind of urge came from them. Okay, and that's why their writings challenge the legitimacy of ancient regime. It is very important. They challenge the legitimacy. Like Montesquieu, written The Spirit of Laws, advocated for separation of power, limiting the absolute monarchy. In fact, Montesquieu has visited England, and there he had already seen the way in which the parliament was functioning, and he realized कि भाई नहीं ऐसा ही कुछ होना चाहिए, otherwise France will never have any kind of progress. Voltaire, okay, so Voltaire has written The Age of Louis XIV, criticized the religious authority and the monarchy's administration. Rousseau, he came out with a very famous theory of social contract, and he proposed a social contract between rulers and ruled, emphasizing just government and the right of revolution against tyranny. And he is somebody who is very famous for this quote. He says that man is born free, but everywhere he is in chains. So this is the opening line of his theory, the social contract. So France, yes, it was very volatile. It was affected by bankruptcy. When bankruptcy came, its institutions were not able to handle it. The king was required to come out with a resolution, but the king was very weak. He could not even ensure that his orders are followed by this law registering body parliament. है ना, उसने भी बात नहीं मानी. And that's why, being a timid person, he said, let's go for the summoning of a state general. So this state general was finally summoned in 1789, and thereafter the thing completely changed. This is what is known as the beginning of French Revolution. When now many of you will say कि यार ये कैसा revolution हुआ, कुछ बड़ा होना चाहिए था, मजेदार होना चाहिए था, तो वो होता है इसमें. This is just the beginning. Okay, this French Revolution is something which is very, very important in world history. Why? Because people started taking care of their rights. This was for the first time we see these three major ideals: equality, liberty and fraternity, which became the watchword of the French Revolution. For the first time we see this. Okay, and so whenever we talk about the beginning of French Revolution, it is the summoning of the meeting of a state general. NCERTs में इतनी डिटेल में नहीं दिया हुआ, मैंने आपको एक broad idea दे दिया है what was French Parliament, so that when later on we are going to have main classes for this, you'll already know the terms at least. French Parliament, a state general was the parliament, all those ideas I have given it to you. The first to a state, the clergy and nobility, they had sent how many representatives? Around 300. Around 300 representatives को send किया. While the third estate, it sent how many delegates? Around 600. Now these people said that when a state general used to meet previously, okay, there was no provision for joint sitting. First estate, second estate and third estate, all these three used to have one vote each, and whoever used to get 2 votes out of 3, that decision used to be passed. That is the reason why the French Parliament in the first place said कि a state general को summon करो. However, as we have just seen, how many representatives came from first? Around 300, but here they were around 612. Okay, around 612. And why was it done? It was done that because people knew कि in the future, जब ये इसका नंबर डबल कर रहे थे ना, 600 कर रहे थे, तो first and second estate they were laughing कि भाई ऐसा क्यों करके फायदा क्या होगा? Why? Because the voting is going to be one vote per house. However, the moment these people came to Paris, they said we want two specific things. First, we want a common house. We are not going to sit in 3 different houses. हमें क्या चाहिए? Common house चाहिए. Plus, the voting should be on the basis of per man basis rather than on the basis of the house. This completely shook the supremacy of first and second estate. वो दोनों परेशान हो गए, भाई ऐसी डिमांड्स कहां से लेके आ गए लोग. And why was it required? The moment this happens, 612 is numerically superior to 600. So now whatever resolution will be taken by the third estate naturally is going to win. So this is what the French Revolution is all about, where people are trying to take everything in their own hands. But the whole process was not that much smooth. They met in May. May में पहली बार मिलते हैं 1789 में. Thereafter, let us try to understand. They met They put forward the demand on 17th of June in front of the king कि हमें ये दो चीजें चाहिए. The king said no. Okay, नहीं हो पाएगा. Still, they declared themselves as National Assembly, that we are a National Assembly. Then when they were coming for the meeting on 20th of June, 3 दिन बाद जब वो वापस आ रहे थे, so they found that the parliament is closed or the Estate General is closed. They said we are not going to go away. So they went to a very close by tennis court and they took an oath on 20th of June. And they said we are not going to go back to our constituencies till we create a constitution for France. So that is how the whole circle changes. एक टाइम पे इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस से स्टार्ट हुआ था, है ना, इकोनॉमी फेल कर रही थी, कुछ स्टेप्स ले लेते तो वहीं के वहीं काम खत्म हो जाता. बट द ब्यूरोक्रेसी एज वेल एज द फर्स्ट एंड द सेकंड स्टेट, दे केम आउट विद द आइडिया कि भाई इसको एक तरीके से खराब करके एस्टेट जनरल को समन करवा लेते, टाइम पास करते हैं. However, this came out completely in a different manner, and thereafter this demand was to be accepted by the king, and king accepted this demand by 27th of June. Okay, he accepted the demand by 27th of June. In fact, the king himself was not very happy. He was not very happy कि यार मेरे से बहुत आर्म ट्विस्टिंग करके इन लोगों ने ना ये बात मनवाई है. So what he was trying to do, he was just trying to bide his time. उन्होंने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, एंड साइड बाय साइड आर्मी स्टार्टेड कमिंग इनटू पेरिस. देयर वाज अ वेरी फेमस मिनिस्टर known as Necker. Okay, a famous minister, Necker. Necker was the one who was supporting changes. That's why king first dismissed him, and the coming of the army started. When army started coming into Paris, people thought कि भाई हम लोगों को crush कर देंगे ये, and the whole gains of the revolution so far, whatever we have acquired, they are going to become zero, and we have to stop it somehow. That's why on 14th of July, people went into this famous fort, which is known as the Fall of Bastille. It was a famous fort of Bourbon dynasty. It was also utilized as a prison. And there was a common understanding, जो एक बार इस जेल में चला गया कभी वापस जिंदा नहीं आता. That's why people thought कि let us now break this fort of Bastille and take all the weapons which are there so that they can have a fight with the army. So this is how the 14th July becomes a very important date in the history of France, and it is known as their national day. अभी मोदी जी लास्ट ईयर गए भी थे on 14th of July. He went to France. जैसे हमारा रिपब्लिक डे है ना, उस दिन हम काफी डिग्निटरीज को बुलाते हैं. They do the same on 14th of July, and that's why it becomes famous. Why? Because the power has now completely shifted into the hands of people. अब लोग पीछे नहीं हटने वाले हैं. In fact, on 14th of July, King Louis XVI told to one of his ministers that this is a very big revolt, and his minister replied, "Sir, this is not a revolt. This is a revolution." अब कहानी खत्म हो गई. And why is it important? Because after this, some very important announcements came. After 14 July, by 4th of August, all the privileges which were given to first estate and the second estate, they were taken down. सारी privilege खत्म कर दी. Next, by 26th of August, there comes a famous declaration of rights, that what minimum rights can be expected by the citizens from its state, which gave them all the fundamental rights like right to equality, right to property. All those rights were given to the people. That's why please try to understand, even though the French Revolution, it started because of an economic problem, but the moment it started, its focus started shifting towards privileges, that we want equality, we want liberty from all institutions, and we also want fraternity. This is how the French Revolution, which starts in May 1789, goes to its full flow by August. अगस्त तक अपने full flow में आ जाता है. And after this declaration of rights, this body is now going to focus on the constitution. Constitution draft करेंगे. जैसे हमारी constitution हमने कितना टाइम लिया था? 1946 में मिले थे दिसंबर में, है ना? हाँ, तो काफी सारा टाइम ले लिया था हम लोगों ने, ना, तो 2.5 साल से ऊपर ले गए थे हम लोग. Anyway, so that is what you need to remember. So they also took some time. when they were drafting their constitution, okay, when they were drafting their constitution, initially they thought they're going to create a constitutional monarchy. They were trying to create a constitutional monarchy because they were not as such against Bourbon dynasty. However, when they were ready with the draft by 1791, something awkward happened. The king tried to flee France. Okay, जिसके लिए 2 साल से कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना रहे हैं, he tried to flee. And there is a very important detail which you should remember. His wife, Queen Marie Antoinette, she was linked to Austria. So he was trying to go to Austria. The reason being, all the other countries like Austria, at that time there was no Germany, Austria, Prussia, these countries were very afraid. Why? Because what was happening in France could happen in their countries next. People will demand their rights, absolute monarchy will go away. That is the reason they were also ready to support the royal dynasty of France and crush this French Revolution. And this was a very big problem for the people of France. And that's why when king tried to flee, this is also famously known as flight to Varennes. After this, people lost their faith in their king. कि भाई हमारा king जो है पता नहीं वो क्या करना चाहता लाइफ में. And as a result, and fiercely advocated by a club known as Jacobean, they eventually said that we are going to have a republic. In fact, the king was executed by Jan 1793 on the charges of treason. That when we are fighting against our neighbors, when we are fighting against outer countries, how can our king abandon us? So this flight to Varennes remains a very critical chapter in the history of France and French Revolution. And as a result, he was given death sentence by Jan 1793. The moment he is given death sentence, from 1793 till the mid of 1794, a person rises and his name was Robespierre. He was a person who was linked to Jacobean Club. Okay, Jacobean Club, it was a club, okay, which was having lots of membership in the State General or the National Convention, and they were having a huge base among the industrial workers. So Robespierre, he started a phenomenon where he tried to safeguard France against the outer countries. And that's why during this phase, we have one specific thing which is known as Reign of Terror, where anybody who was suspected of being against the ideals of French Revolution, they were guillotined. Guillotined, it's a phenomena, एक तरीके का machine होता है, in which your neck is completely adjusted, है ना, और एक बार बस ऊपर से punch करते हैं and your skull completely goes out. So this is why even in our constitution there is a phenomenon of guillotine. जब bills वगैरह के discuss कर रहे होते हैं clause by clause, last में जब time नहीं बचता तो what do they say? Guillotine करो, काम खत्म करो, सबको एक साथ डालो, okay कर दो. That's why during these 1.5 years, from Jan 1793 to July 1794, in fact, in July 1794, Robespierre himself was guillotined. उनको ही खत्म कर दिया था कि भाई जिससे स्टार्ट किया था उसी के साथ में अंत हो गया. And thereafter some sanity came back to France, and they again created one more constitution, which was run by a government of directory. Directory means a government of 5 people. Major 5 people were there who were running the show. This directory remained prominent from 1795 to 1799, roughly for 4 years. However, the power was captured in 1799 by one of the tallest personality in world history, and his name is Napoleon. And they came out with a kind of government which is known as consulate government, and he became the first consul in 1799 and continued like this till 1804, because in 1804 he coronated himself, अपने आप को king बना लिया. So the whole history of France is having lots of problems, up and down, lots of ups and downs. कभी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाने जाते हैं, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाते हैं तो किंग भाग जाता है, ओके, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोनार्की से फिर रिपब्लिक बनाते हैं, रिपब्लिक बनाते हैं तो इवेंचुअली दैट आल्सो फेल्स, देन दे वेंट फॉर डायरेक्टरी, डायरेक्टरी फेल्स बिकॉज नेपोलियन गोज फॉर अ कूप. By 1804 he himself becomes the king of France. So that's why from 1789 till 1799 we often consider that the French Revolution was roughly for 10 years, and then we see the beginning of the age of Napoleon. Okay, so revolution is from 1789 to 1799, and Napoleon is from 1799 till his final downfall, and that is the famous battle of Waterloo. Okay, 1815 is his famous battle of Waterloo. UPSC every year asks one question from French Revolution or Napoleon every year. Okay, you should be very completely aware about कहाँ से क्वेश्चन आते हैं. एनलाइटनमेंट से हर बार एक क्वेश्चन आता है, अमेरिकन के जो टॉपिक्स हैं 3-4 उनसे मिला के क्वेश्चन हमेशा आता है, एक क्वेश्चन हमेशा फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन से आता है. तो यू शुड बी अवेयर अबाउट द बेसिक डिटेल्स सो दैट लेटर ऑन व्हेन वी विल डिस्कस दीस टॉपिक्स इन डिटेल यू कैन एटलीस्ट हैव एन आइडिया एंड यू कैन कैप्चर द PYQs और इजीली उनको हम सॉल्व भी कर पाए. सो फ्रॉम द PPT वी हैड डिस्कस्ड लाइक टिल दिस 14th of July we see the storming of Bastille. Okay, Bastille is it's a very important day in the history of France, and that's why it is a French national day. Okay, and the reason I have already told you, the king was trying to bring in army into Paris. People thought they have to survive somehow, and that's why they went into Bastille in order to get some kind of weapons. Then eventually we see one of the most important thing that we have discussed. All right, in August 1789 they were able to create the Declaration of Rights, and in 1791 they came out with the National Assembly drafted the Constitution. The Constitution was drafted and many new features were brought in. Right to vote was given to certain percentage of the population, and this constitution making, it took a lot of time. Okay, even though Declaration of Right, it came on August 26, 1789. The principles which were there, limited monarchy should be there, individual and collective rights should be there for the community. And who were the major influences? The ideas of enlightenment, okay, as well as Thomas Jefferson's ideas on equality. As we know already, by that time America had drafted their own constitution, so that constitution was also in front of them, and they were able to borrow some of the ideas from that also. This is the phase of constitution making. Okay, then there is also a very important role of women in this French Revolution that we need to understand. Why are we reading about this? Because even though they participated, they were not given the equivalent rights by this declaration. That's why we should know about it. In fact, the Women's March on Versailles is one of the most significant chapter in the history of French Revolution. And then Olympique de Gouges, she was one of the powerful lady, and she advocated eventually that there should be rights for the women, and in fact she authored her own Declaration of Rights and of Citizens demanding female equality. So when we talk about feminist movements, this is one of the first phase in the history of the world where we see some people, some women specifically, asking for equal rights. That's why कभी भी ऐसे वगैरह आप लोग लिख रहे हो तो you can quote her name, Olympique de Gouges, who said that we have participated, okay, in the revolution, and the fruits are only being enjoyed by the men. How is this an equality? So that's why France is always a way ahead with respect to the feminine rights. In fact, you must have seen in the current affairs recently, right to abortion has been given in France, right? So, and in fact made a fundamental right. So many feminist movements have emerged in France, and this French Revolution, this is one of the first stage of that. Then war against Austria and Prussia. This war starts, as I already said, the National Assembly declared war against them. Why? Because Austria, it was having direct linkages with the king, and after his flight, eventually they started the war against them. In fact, there was one Duke of Brunswick. He had given a proclamation, if anything happens to the royal family, I'm going to burn down the city of Paris. पूरे पेरिस को जला दूंगा अगर कुछ भी हो गया तो इनको. That further increased the kind of grievance among the people of France, and eventually they led the war. So many clubs were formed. अब इनके अंदर ज्यादा नहीं जाते हैं, but थोड़ा सा आइडिया लगा लो. This Jacobian, two famous clubs were there. One club was that of Jacobians. Okay, so this was a prominent club representing the lower classes. जितना भी artist, labor, Paris के आसपास रहते थे, they had become part of the Jacobian club. And these Jacobians, they were having their representation in the parliament, and they were led by Maximilian Robespierre. And then this is a keyword which you can remember for your answer writing also, sans culottes. Sans culottes, this is the word which is utilized for whom? Those without knee breeches. In fact, it symbolizes working class identity and a core Jacobian membership. जो भी पेरिस के आसपास की working class थी, उसको हम क्या बोलते थे? Sans culottes. There were some other clubs also like Cordelier Club. Okay. Then the biggest rivalry in France, it was between Girondins and Jacobians. Girondin was one of the province. So those people who used to come from that province, they were known as Girondists. Okay, एक province था Girondist, वहां से जो भी आते हैं क्या बोलते थे? Girondin. जैसे जो भी लोग बिहार से आते हैं, ये कहाँ से? ये बिहारी है. Why? Because they come from Bihar. So similarly, in France, there was a province known as Girondists, and from these people known as Girondists. Now, these Girondins and Jacobians, they used to fight. Okay, they used to fight over many matters. The Jacobians, they wanted that the king should be completely brought down. Okay, the moment they realized that the king had tried to flee, they said that king should be executed, plus a republic should be brought in. However, the Girondins, they were not in favor of that. So that's why there was always rivalry between these two, and eventually later on, when the reign of terror started, many these Girondins, they were executed or they were guillotined. So different kinds of people were there. Lafayette, that we were discussing yesterday, General Lafayette was a very famous personality. He went to America also. Then he was also responsible for the success of French Revolution during its initial days. Okay, and he was leading one specific organization which was in the Paris itself. Okay, so Lafayette was very prominent person, and he was responsible for leading the initial phase of French Revolution, known as Paris Commune. Okay, National Guard भी बोलते थे उसको. तो नेशनल गार्ड जो थे उसको ये लीड करते थे. Then this national convention, which as we have discussed, जो 1791 के बाद अपने आप को चेंज कर लेती है, it continues. Okay, 1791 के बाद in 1792 we see the coming of national convention. Again the work is same. एक constitution बनाया, but the king tried to flee. अब करे क्या? Now they have to make their constitution again. That's why this legislative assembly, okay, this was replaced by the national convention. बाकी इसकी डिटेल बाद में करेंगे. अभी आप लोगों को इतना डिटेल में अंदर जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो आराम से बाद में करेंगे. After downfall of Robespierre, we have this government known as Directory. Okay, it suppressed royalist uprisings. And Thermodin वहाँ पे एक कैलेंडर सिस्टम था, and they faced rebellion for both royalists and revolutionaries, and that's why they created a 5-man ruling body. उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? Directory. 5 people, they're going to rule and they're going to control the whole administration. That's why it's known as Directory. However, in 1799, the power was taken forward by Napoleon. So Napoleon became the major hotshot, and he was able to come out with a coup. And the rest of the history, it is linked with the history of Napoleon. वहाँ पे नेपोलियन की हिस्ट्री आती है. ठीक है. What is the overall impact of French Revolution on the world? अगर हम इसकी बात करें, there are so many important things which we can remember. First thing which is very clear, it fought against privileges. It wanted equality. For the first time, equality के ऊपर इतना focus किसी revolution ने किया. Second, it also introduced republican form of government with electoral rights. Feudal system was abolished. Slavery was abolished, though it took some more years for total abolition. Church lost its supremacy. In fact, they came out with a system where the priests were elected. Priests आप कहीं भी elect नहीं होते. They came out with a system that the priests are going to get elected for the first time. The church lost its supremacy, all of its money. Okay, it was completely seized by the state. Declaration of Right of Man and Citizen brought the importance of collective rights for any community. 3 organs of the government, legislative, executive, judiciary, they became prominent, and they kept a check and balance on each other. So it was about separation of powers. And all over Europe, the French Revolution gave the hope to the common people. Okay, because all the people who were suffering in the same manner, it was the France which led them. And in fact, starting from 1789 till 1871, France is going to be a dominant country and often considered as an intellectual head of Europe. The moment a revolution will start in France, it is going to spread far and wide every time. Like revolutions happened in 1789 to 1799, then in 1830, 1848, and every time the Europe also was caught in the same kind of response. That's why they become the major leader of Europe. ठीक है, तो फ्रांस के बारे में एक चीज ध्यान रखनी है, it became the intellectual head the moment it was able to have this revolution. हमेशा हर बार गाइडेंस के लिए यही सबसे आगे आएंगे.
Hi, a very good evening to all of you. I'm Vikas Elawat. I'm a former civil servant. I was able to crack UPSC twice. In fact, in 2018, I was able to get highest marks in history optional, and they were around 324. So this year, I'm coming up with a series which I am calling Self-Study History Optional. इस series में 100 से ज़्यादा वीडियो होने वाले हैं, which are going to cover the different nuances of ancient, medieval, modern as well as world history. So those of you who are preparing for 2025, register करिए and try to get the maximum out of this specific initiative of ours. So at Prep Career IAS, we are producing results from last many years. 2023 में बहुत सारे टॉपर्स हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट से थे. 2022, 21 हर साल बहुत अच्छे टॉपर्स यहाँ से निकले हैं. And they have been able to get very good marks in history optional. So those of you who are thinking कि यार start करके कितना कर पाएंगे कितना नहीं कर पाएंगे, we already have achievements with us. I was able to achieve, my students are achieving, and you can be the next. इन सेशंस में क्या होने वाला है? नंबर 1, विल बी फोकसिंग ऑन फाउंडेशन ऑफ बेसिक कंसेप्ट्स, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम व्हाट इज हिस्ट्री, व्हाट इज हिस्टोरिकल पीरियड, व्हाट इज प्रोटो हिस्ट्री, व्हाट इज प्री हिस्ट्री, बेसिक लेवल. ओके. सेकंड, अलाइनमेंट विद यूपीएससी सिलेबस. जितना भी हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल का सिलेबस है वो 51 पार्ट्स में डिवाइडेड है. सो वी आर गोइंग टू अलाइन ईच एंड एवरी कंसेप्ट विद द सिलेबस इटसेल्फ. नंबर 3, वी आर गोइंग टू फोकस ऑन आंसर राइटिंग. ऑल ऑफ यू नो कि जो मेंस है वो ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं होता है, वो सब्जेक्टिव लेवल पे होता है, और आप सब लोगों को आंसर राइटिंग सीखना शुरू करना पड़ेगा, है ना. वी डू नॉट हैव टू मच ऑफ टाइम, तो स्टार्टिंग से ही आंसर राइटिंग शुरू करेंगे. एंड नंबर 4, द ओवरऑल पैकेज इज़ वेरी हॉलिस्टिक इन नेचर. तो अगर आप इसको अच्छे से कर लेते हैं तो जो बेसिक लेवल फाउंडेशन हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल की वो कंप्लीट हो जाएगी. यू आर गोइंग टू गेट मैनी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स अलॉन्ग विद दिस. ओके. 100+ सेशन है, चारों पार्ट कवर होंगे. थीम वाइज सेग्रीगेटेड डायग्राम, फ्लो चार्ट, जितने भी इंपॉर्टेंट एनसीईआरटीज हैं. देखो, अगर हम सारी एनसीईआरटीज को कंबाइन कर दें, एंशिएंट, मिडेवल, मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड ऑफ वेरियस बोर्ड्स ऑफ इंडिया, तो 25 से 26 एनसीईआरटी निकल के आती हैं. उन सबको हमने कोहेरेंट फॉर्म में डिज़ाइन किया है सो दैट यू कैन लर्न द बेस्ट फ्रॉम दैट. ओके. बिकॉज देखो, हिस्ट्री में रिसर्चेज चलती रहती हैं. अभी तमिलनाडु की जो एनसीईआरटीज हैं, दे आर मोर इंपॉर्टेंट इन कंपेरिजन टू द रीसेंट हिस्ट्री देन द प्रीवियस हिस्ट्री, जो कि आर.एस. शर्मा वगैरह, सतीश चंद्रा या फिर बिपिन चंद्रा ने लिखी हैं. दैट्स वाई वी आर कवरिंग ऑल द एनसीईआरटीज एंड दैट्स वाई 100+ सेशंस हो जा रहे हैं टोटल मिला के. देन 30+ वैल्यू एडेड आपको डॉक्यूमेंट मिलने वाले हैं. डेडिकेटेड आंसर राइटिंग सेशन मिलेंगे. जूम सेशंस भी करेंगे बाद में, ताकि आप लोगों की जितने भी डाउट्स हों विद रिस्पेक्ट टू लर्निंग दे कुड बी सॉल्व्ड. ओवरऑल जो है आपको क्लास की पीपीटीज मिलेंगी, कंसेप्ट लिस्ट मिलेगा, पीवाईक्यूज, जितने भी पीवाईक्यूज हैं उनको अच्छे से हमने डिज़ाइन कर दिया ताकि आप सब उनको अच्छे से पढ़ सकें. माइंड मैप मिलेंगे पूरे सिलेबस के, वर्कबुक और लर्निंग असाइनमेंट्स मिलेंगे, एंड सेल्फ असेसमेंट टेस्ट, सो दैट वंस यू लर्न समथिंग तो साथ में उसको एटलीस्ट इवेल्युएट भी करना चाहिए ना, कि भाई हमें कुछ समझ में आया भी है नहीं आया, एटलीस्ट जितना रिक्वायर्ड है वहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं या फिर नहीं पहुँचे हैं. तो आपको करना क्या है, व्हाट वी नीड टू डू दैट, सबसे पहले आप रजिस्टर कर लीजिए. ठीक है. आपको एक स्पेसिफिक गूगल शीट मिलेगा, उसमें आप रजिस्टर कर लीजिए. देन एज ऑल ऑफ अस अंडरस्टैंड, हर किसी के पास लिमिटेड स्लॉट्स हैं, तो आपको एक स्पेसिफिक कॉल आएगा, एंड दैट इज समथिंग विच वी आर कॉलिंग एट स्क्रीनिंग प्रोसेस. बिकॉज अगर हमें आपको ये सारी सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करनी है, द नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स विच वी कैन हेल्प दे आर ऑलवेज लिमिटेड इन नेचर. सो अकेडमिक काउंसलर इज गोइंग टू कॉल यू, दे गोइंग टू हेल्प यू, और दे गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है. हो सकता है आप कॉलेज के फर्स्ट ईयर में हो, सेकेंड ईयर में, थर्ड ईयर में हो, और यू मे हैव ऑलरेडी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर सम टाइम एंड यू आर नॉट गेटिंग द डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट. तो इसलिए हमें स्क्रीनिंग प्रोसेस चाहिए होगा. एंड फाइनली on the basis of this, you're going to get the benefit of this program.